Hi everyone, happy Sunday morning to you. I just thought I'd bring you some card guidance for today. I haven't done one in a few days, so I just wanted to pull a few cards, give you a little bit of guidance for the week going ahead. So I'm using my Patrick Gamble deck. I forget the exact name of the deck, but they're the ones that's on his website anyway. They're really kind of higher guidance, like for, spiritual guidance is what I kind of use them for. And the first card I've drawn here is Tranquility. Hopefully that'll stay. So this card, what I get is, if this is drawn for a person, it's always about, if they need peace in their life, if they need some sort of turmoil brought to an end. The water from the waterfall is all about the emotions. It's about the person having to, look up at the situation from a point of view where it's it could be deemed as like a kind of a dark kind of a situation for them. They might be feeling really, really low in themselves, and it's all about looking up at that sun on the top of the card. It's like looking up to the light. It's like getting yourself out of that dark place and moving forward. The unicorn in the picture, it's about finding the magic, finding the happiness in a situation that isn't ideal. And at the moment, that horse is just, the way I'm seeing it is the person's at ground level and this unicorn is up there, so they're looking at the situation as if it's unattainable, as if, woe is me, like pity me, like I can't get out of this situation, this is just my life, this is just the way it is, and I just have to accept it type of thing. So they see that kind of goal unattainable for them at the moment because they're so drowned out in their emotions and stuff. So what they're really looking for is peace and solitude in their life to kind of be happy and to kind of move on with their life and that type of thing. So for them it's an uphill struggle, but this card, it just brings kind of clarity and it brings a bit of peace of mind to know that it's about changing your mindset, that your situation isn't as bad as what it actually appears in the first place. You can have peace eventually, but you have to take those steps up that waterfall, so to speak, to get your goals, because you're the master of your own kind of destiny and stuff. Like, things aren't going to happen for you just by, waking up one day and they're going to be there. You have to kind of work for them. You have to make a plan of action and put those steps into place in order to get out of that place where you're feeling like your situation isn't very good at the moment. So the sun up in the top of the card is attainable, but you just have to work for it. And at the moment, you might be just going through a lot of emotions and stuff with the water there, but it's something that will actually improve over time. So it's just important to also acknowledge your emotions as well, so that you're not in that lower kind of vibrational state of, my life is a piece of doo-doo and stuff. So you just have to really lift yourself out of that mindset and work towards the future, because staying in that lower depressed state is not going to help you move forward in life. It's going to keep you in the same place as where you are at the moment. So acknowledge your feelings and move on from it and make steps for your ideal future, okay? This next card I have here is the Black Stallion. So this card to me is always about someone that's kind of rising from the ashes like a phoenix. It's someone that's been through a really dark time, but they've also embraced kind of, I suppose, if you want to call it, their shadow side. They've embraced their faults. They're not kind of, disillusioned by the stuff that they've been through, but they also are not playing a victim anymore. As opposed to the other card, this is someone that's really kind of embraced kind of all of their flaws, all of their kind of darker side, and they've actually worked through it. And now they're making that kind of metamorphosis from, caterpillar to butterfly. It's like they're rising from the ashes. They're passionate. They know what they want in life. They're really moving forward, and it's someone that really has kind of learned their lessons in life. They know what it's like to go through all of the bad stuff, but now it's their time to rise up and take what they want out of life, basically. So it's about embracing kind of your faults and stuff, but it's also about, not giving up, being kind of fearless. It doesn't matter what kind of people are saying about you. It doesn't matter what, you're going through in life. Like, everything is transitional, basically. So you're never stuck in the same place as what you think you are for the rest of your life. It's all only a phase. It's stuff that you have to work through. It's stuff that you have to acknowledge and just accept that this was part of your journey. But that doesn't mean you stay in that still, in that, like the other card, in that lower kind of place. Now it's time for you to step up and kind of move forward fearlessly, okay? So these cards are all leading one onto another, it's good. Moonlight meeting is all about putting yourself out there. It's about, networking, not staying kind of in your shell so much, getting out there, finding the magic, meeting people. It's about, how do I put it? It's like you need to make kind of more friends, more connections outside the home. This card for me always comes up for someone who's really stuck in the house. They're really kind of like, they're kind of not feeling too good about themselves. They're not feeling very confident. So this is about kind of just making that first step to put yourself out there. Join some classes, do a workshop on self-development or something like that. Do something that really kind of ignites your passion in life. So, for example, you need to find out basically what really kind of drives you in life. Like, do you like painting? Are you artistic? Do you like crochet? Do you like going to the gym? Do you like boxing? Do you like, cookery, or Pilates, yoga, anything like this? You have to find out really what you want to do in life and not just be existing. It's not just about, sitting at home with the kids, cooking a meal for your husband and stuff, and then just, waking up the next day and the same thing. You need to find a zest for life. You need to do something that makes you happy. At the end of the day, your kids are never going to come to you when you're 18 years old, like I always say in readings and stuff, and they're never going to give you a high five and say, well done, mum or dad, for the job that you've done. They're not. They're just going to be off, and they'll probably ask you for money to go on their holiday to Ibiza or something like that. So you need to really put in the work to looking after yourself and doing your own self-care at the moment, because no one's going to, offer you a holiday. They're never going to, you have to put all the steps in place. You're responsible for your own happiness, basically. So with this card, it's just about putting yourself out there a little bit more. She has like a little light. I don't know if you can see, the picture is kind of blurry-ish, so I think the cards in the background are probably focusing a bit more. But she's like a little fairy. She's going out with a little light. She's meeting a creature there in the forest. The creature is like a lot bigger than her, so it's a scary situation for her to put herself out there in the public and stuff. So this might be someone that is, a bit kind of bashful, a bit shy. Like, they feel like, they're probably not good at social situations. They feel like if they're putting themselves out there, everyone else is kind of going to be bigger and better than them, and that's not the case. Because you'll actually be surprised at the people that you meet. Once you put yourself out there, you'll actually be attracted to like-minded people and stuff. So all it takes is that first little step to move forward. Let's see. Fears. So this one is all about, it's someone that's really kind of almost, they're in a mental state where their fears are controlling their life, more or less. And it's about, like, this card always comes up when, it's always on a mental kind of a level. They're like ridiculous fears that wouldn't really mean much to most people, but in this person's head, they would be something that has amplified to such an extent that it's actually, affecting kind of their life in a lot of ways. So with these two, like, you have the wolf here and you have the Indian guide, and then you have the falcon in the back. Those are three very powerful symbols. Excuse me, from the spirit world, and it's all about kind of them letting you know that the wolf is a sign of protection, the other guy is your guide, and then the falcon in the back is like your kind of higher wisdom, is how I see that, and it's going into the distance. So you can't really see that, what you're going through. You can't see the kind of light behind that, but it's all to do with your own fears and dealing with them, because it's almost like you've kind of neglected to address your fears in a lot of ways, and it's just kind of snowballed into something that's almost uncontrollable. So this card is just about, it's a bit a healing card as well because of the green. So dark green is always about like deep emotional healing, like trauma and that type of thing. So it's just about you acknowledging the fears. Like, what a lot of people do is they try to shy away from, their emotions, their fears, their feelings and that type of thing. That's the wrong time to do. You do have to acknowledge them, otherwise you're just burying the problem. So it's very important to address what you're going through, but just not to dwell on them, not to feed into that fear-based energy of, what could kind of go wrong in your life. So you just have to acknowledge it, realize that, the situation isn't as bad as actually what it makes out to be. It's just a phase that you're going through, like with anything, and you can definitely get through it. But it's just a mental state. It's about rising kind of above that fear level to accepting that, you know, not everything is as bad as what we think, okay? Let's see. A Winter's Dream. This is all about the journey that you're going through. Basically, you have to go through the dark to see the light. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning as well, like embracing kind of your, you know, your kind of darker side, your flaws, your kind of like bad traits, if you want to put it like that. So this is about your whole journey. This is what it's all been about for you. Going through that kind of dark kind of place, but to see the light. But it's very important that you do see a light at the end of the tunnel, because there is always one, because somewhere always leads somewhere. So even though it might be a bit kind of scary at the moment, you might feel like a bit overwhelmed, like, you know, nothing's working out for you. You might feel like you're stuck in a certain situation that you can't get out of. But just remember, like what I was saying previously, everything is temporary, nothing is permanent, so it is only a phase. So it's just something that it's more of a, you have to get control of your mental state in order to see the end results, if that makes sense. So as you can see there, you're walking on the clouds there, so you might feel like every step that you take, like you might feel like it's kind of an up and down kind of a struggle, because just what I'm getting there is that when you're, like as if you were walking on clouds, say, just metaphorically. So if you're walking on clouds, sometimes there'll be clouds there, but you can also see in the card there's kind of like gaps, so you don't know, you're kind of scared to put your foot forward in the fear that you might kind of fall. So sometimes you actually take a few steps back because you're just scared of making that kind of leap forward. But what you do, you have to just like trust yourself and know that this is part of the process. You just have to keep moving forward all the time. Because if you keep taking a step back, you're never going to reach that light at the end. You're just going to keep going back and back into bad habits, fear-based kind of energies and that type of thing. So just keep moving forward and just keep the end result in mind, that, you know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to get better. Tomorrow is always going to be better than yesterday, and everything is going to work out all right. So hopefully you've enjoyed them few cards. I really hope it helps with you kind of getting through the week if you're going through a hard time. I might try to do this even every weekend if you like it. So thanks very much and have a good day. Bye.